Okay, I'm going to show you how to do the corner to corner stitch or the C to C stitch. This works up really fast. It's an easy stitch once you learn it. And I've already made a twin size and I'm working on a second one, and I just learned the stitch at the beginning of the summer. So you start out with a slip knot. The way I do my slip knots is a little bit different than what I normally see. It's easier to me and it's fast. I wrap it around my finger. I put this over it and I just kind of roll it through. It might take you a little bit to figure that out, or there's other videos that shows you a different way. My yarn's kind of I've used it over and over and over again, so it kind of looks rough. But we're going to start out with a chain of 6. So you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now I'm going to go the third chain from my slip knot. 1, 2, 3. Now I'm going to do a double crochet into that. And of course, as always, I like to crochet my hair. You'll see that regularly. Okay, so now there's 2 stitches left from the knot, so I go into the next one and do a second double crochet. And then I go into the last one. So I will have 3 double crochets off that chain of 6. My yarn's going to start splitting. Like I said, it's old. Okay, so now I have this little box. This is what your C2C stitch consists of, is little bitty boxes. Okay, so now I'm going to turn, and this is your first row, or diagonal row, I guess you would say. So I'm going to turn it, working from the back of it, and I'm going to do 6 again. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Same thing, third from the bottom of that chain, double. And here I am splitting yarn again, double into that second from the bottom, double into the last from the bottom. Okay, right now this looks kind of wonky. But you're going to take, excuse me, you're going to take and kind of fold it over. And see, this is where your chain was in the last little box. So we're going to go into that and just do a slip stitch. Okay, so this is where we're at. This was our first corner. This is our next little box. So now we're going to chain 1, 2, 3. We're going to double crochet 3 times into that chain space. So here is your first diagonal row. Here's your second diagonal rows. So now you're going to turn. Now you're going to do that chain 5 again because you're starting a new row, or chain 6, I'm sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Start the third chain from the bottom, third stitch from the bottom. Do your double crochet. Go into the next stitch from the bottom, double crochet, go in the last stitch from the bottom, double crochet. Then, the same way as before, we're going to fold that, and you have this little chain space from the chain 3 before. We're going to slip stitch into that, and we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3, and we're going to do 3 double crochets into the chain 3. So we got 3. Now, let me get my yarn situated. It's a big mess, as always. I can never have yarn that's not a mess. Okay, that'll give me some wiggle room. Okay, so now we're going to do the same thing. We've got this chain 3 at the end of the second diagonal. We'll slip stitch into it. 1, 2, 3. Then we're going to do 3 double crochets. I'm kind of doing this a little bit loose, so you can see my stitches when I do them. Normally my work's just a little bit tighter than this, not really tight. I'm using a eye hook. I put the little rubber clip on it with the rainbow loom of my kids, and it just makes it a little bit easier to hold. So now, if you can see, you have row 1, row 2, and row 3. That makes it so easy to count because each row has the number up until you start decreasing, and then that'll change. So now we're going to do the same thing. We've completed row 3, so we're going to turn, and we're going to start out with our chain 6 again. And you're going to go third from the end. Gets a lot easier to figure this out once you're doing, but every time you start a new row, you're adding an extra box to the end, and that's when you're going to do the chain 6. Okay, so I did my 3 little boxes. I put it up to my next one. I do a slip stitch, slip stitch, and then I chain 1, 2, 3. Now do 3 double crochets. Okay, slip stitch into the next chain 3 space. 1, 2, 3. 3 double crochets. Into the next one. Slip stitch, chain 3, 3 double crochets. Okay, so this is what we've got so far. We've got 1, 2, 3, and then 4 rows. I am going to go off camera. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger, and then I will show you how to decrease. I'll be back soon. Okay, so I just went back and forth creating my little boxes until I got to here. Now, this is just a little swatch, so it might be a baby doll blanket or a Barbie blanket, whichever. But right now, it's at 7 inches wide. See, this is the corner. This is where we started. So imagine if you wanted to make a twin bed, you could measure your bed, or you could just lay it out on your bed like this. And this would be the end of the twin bed. So you would keep going, doing what I just showed you to do, until you got this as wide as the twin bed. Now, then you would want it to be a rectangle, so you would want it to keep going until it's as long as the twin bed. Well, the way we do this is I've ended right here, so I could show you how to decrease. Now, if you are going to make a square, you would start decreasing on this side, so it'll start creating an edge. When you got down here, you would start decreasing on this side. And you would keep going back and forth decreasing until it met into a corner, so you'd make a square. Because each time you do a row, the way we were doing, whenever you've done the chain 6, you were making it a little bit bigger. You was adding a box. Well, now we're going to stop adding those boxes. Since we're going to make it a square, we're going to stop adding the boxes on each end. If I was going to make it a rectangle, I would decrease on this end, so this end would start going straight. Then I would continue to increase, doing the chain 6, on this end until it got the length I wanted. And then I would decrease it until they met. So let me show you how to decrease. So I finished with this row, and see, I was supposed to do a slip stitch here to make another box. See, normally we would do a slip stitch, chain 3, do 3 double crochets, and turn. But instead, I want to do a decrease. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to do my little slip stitch, chain 1, 2, 3, do 3 double crochets, now I'm going to turn. Instead of chaining 6, I want to start creating an edge, a straight edge. So, you see, we've got 1, 2, 3 stitches. So I'm going to do a slip stitch 1, slip stitch 2, slip stitch 3. Now we're to the chain 3 space from that previous block, or this block that we're working on. So we're going to slip stitch into it like normal. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, just like we're in the middle of a row. We're going to go ahead and do our block. So I did 3 double crochets. And we're going to slip stitch into the next block, chain 3, do 3 double crochets, now before we continue, if you see, this is not making a nice little edge, so when we have it in its normal position, this is making our side. See? There's the right side, and this is going to be our left side. So, let me continue. Slip stitch, chain 3. If I can remember how to crochet. I'm doing my 3 double crochets. If it just got noisier in here, it's because my air conditioner kicked on and it's rather noisy. So we're just working across like we would a normal row. Nothing different here, it's just the ends that are a little different. So always remember, slip stitch, chain 3, 3 double crochets. Oh, you can see my big yarn mess. I need to get a yarn winder and take care of this disaster. It's falling apart on me. Okay. Okay, we just continue working through the row. We're almost to the end, and we're going to do another decrease because I'm just going to make a quick square. Now if you're going to do a rectangle, you would not decrease this end. You would go ahead and do your chain 6 and continue through. Me and my yarn's not getting along. I don't know if y'all ever have that problem. I'm sure you do. Okay. Okay, now we're at the end of this. Now we do not want to continue that. We want to decrease the side, so we want to make a straight edge like we did here. So the way I do my straight edge, when I do this way, I take my hook out and I turn it this way. I know some people probably does this a little bit different, but I like the look that it gives. Hang on just a second. I'm fighting with yarn as always. Okay, so we have this chain 3 space. I'm going to stick my hook in here, and then I'm going to stick it back into my loop, pull it tight. I'm going to do a slip stitch into there. So now I'm going to slip stitch into 1, 2, 3, just like before. 1, 2, 3, and here's our chain space. I'm going to slip stitch and do 1, 2, 3 chains, and do my 3 double crochets as always. Up. Okay, so now we've got this nice little pretty straight edge that we're doing. Okay. Now we just continue on this row like before. Slip stitch, chain 3. Double crochet in to the chain 3 space from the other block. Okay, I'm coming near the end of this row. I'm going to do one more, chain 3, 3 double crochets, okay, now I want to make another straight edge. See how this is straight? So I'm going to pull my hook out. I'm going to turn my project. I'm going to put it into the chain 3 space from the previous block, back into my loop, slip stitch. Then I'm going to slip stitch 3 times. Now I'm going to slip stitch into the chain space. Then 1, 2, 3. I'm just going to continue back down. Now, if you look, this is what we've got so far. I'm going to keep going off camera because who wants to watch me crochet forever? Okay, so remember this was the corner we started with, and we've been increasing our blocks. Okay, now if you notice, when we get to right here, at a diagonal, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 blocks. Then this one we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 blocks. So it's going to continue back down to 1, and that's where we'll meet and end the project. I'm going to stop the camera and I'm going to finish this up, and then I will come back and show you that last little corner. Okay, this is where I am so far. Okay, this was our big beginning corner. I just went back and forth decreasing. As you can see, I've only got 3 squares left. So I just decreased. I did my little slip stitches. I'm going to do another slip stitch. 1, 2, 3 as always. Get untangled here. Then 2, 3 double crochets. Slip stitch into the next block, then 3 chain, three double crochets. Okay, I'm back here at this one. Take my hook out, turn it, put it into that little chain 3 space, put it back in my loop, slip stitch, then slip stitch. 1, 2, 3. Now, see this side and this side is meeting. It's going to form corner. Slip stitch one more time. Do 1, 2, 3. Chain or double crochet 3. Okay, so now I'm going to make this block again. So going to take my hook out. This is going to finish this up. I'm going to turn it, put it back in this, put it back in my loop, pull tight, and one final slip stitch. Now, I like to kind of go ahead and walk it across the corner. It makes it a little bit more secure so it doesn't pull and leave you a hole. Okay, so this is it. This is finished, guys. Now you just finish it off. And as you can see, it makes a really pretty little pattern. You've got all your little bumps in here. It's really easy. If you notice how fast it went after I started decreasing. Now, like I said, if you wanted to make this a rectangle, we would have decreased this side, but not this side. This side would went as long as you wanted your rectangle to go. Then you would have decreased, and eventually you would have met in the end at the corner, just like this. So I hope this tutorial helped some of y'all who was having a little bit of trouble with the decreasing. I know it confused me at first, but now, I mean, it's like second nature. It's not that hard anymore. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up. And if you'd like for me to do another little tutorial, let me know. Thanks. Bye-bye.